All right, let's dive in. We're tackling 10 techniques to increase your intelligence today.
Yeah, this one's been on my list for a while.
Mine too, actually. I've skimmed it. And it's not just about, getting a higher IQ score.
Right.
It's about, practical intelligence, stuff you can use every day.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just about, being book smart.
Exactly. Okay, so what do you see so far that's grabbing your attention?
Well, the way the author kind of sets things up really resonated with me.
Okay.
They compare the brain to, a Ferrari.
Okay.
But one that's stuck in first gear.
Ah, I see.
Which is a pretty brilliant metaphor, don't you think?
It is, yeah, because, we all have this potential, right?
Oh,
but we're not always
potential.
using it to the fullest.
We're not even close most of the time.
Oh, exactly.
I feel that way sometimes. Come on, brain, there's more in there.
Yeah, for sure. But the good news is this book doesn't just point out the problem, right?
Right. It actually gives us tools to, shift gears.
Yeah, and it all starts with this concept of neuroplasticity.
Oh, yeah. Neuroplasticity is key.
Yeah, the brain's ability to, rewire itself.
It's we can upgrade our own mental hardware.
Right. It's so cool. We can literally make ourselves smarter.
Exactly. It's not set in stone.
And that's what I love about this whole approach. So that brings us to the first technique, which is continuous learning.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep those brains working.
Yeah, and the ebook has this great analogy. It compares the brain to a muscle, right?
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, instead of lifting weights, we're lifting ideas.
It's a good way to put it because it shows that consistency matters, with physical exercise. Even short bursts of mental stimulation, right, can add up over time.
Right. It's about, building that habit.
Exactly. Making it a part of your routine.
Yeah, exactly. And what's fascinating is the benefits of learning, they go way beyond just knowing more stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about trivia.
Right. So tell me more about those benefits. I'm all ears.
Well, think of it this way. When you're learning, you're strengthening those neural pathways in your brain.
Okay.
Which makes it easier to process information, make connections, come up with creative solutions.
So it's like improving the infrastructure of our brains.
Exactly. You're building a superhighway for your thoughts.
I love that. A superhighway for your thoughts.
Yeah, and studies have shown that this kind of mental workout can actually boost memory, improve attention span, even sharpen your problem-solving skills.
So it's like a total brain upgrade.
It really is, yeah.
That's incredible. Okay, so we're not just learning trivia here. We're actually making our brains work better.
Right. It's about enhancing how your brain functions.
Okay, I love that. But I know our listeners all about practical strategies. So let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, let's talk tactics.
How can we actually put this continuous learning into action?
Well, the book's got a ton of tips, but one that really stood out to me was what they call the 15-minute power rule.
Okay, 15 minutes. That doesn't sound too bad.
Right. It's doable.
Yeah.
And the idea is to just dedicate 15 minutes each day to learning something new.
Okay.
It could be reading an article, watching a documentary.
Or even listening to a podcast.
Exactly. So you're already doing it.
Well, there you go. So it's not about spending hours and hours studying.
No. It's that consistency,
Yeah.
making it a regular habit.
Okay, so small, consistent effort, that's the key.
Exactly. Little by little, it all adds up.
I love that. Speaking of diving into fascinating topics, the author also talks about following your intellectual rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah. I love that idea.
Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So it's about embracing that natural curiosity we all have, right? You get interested in something and boom, you just dive in, learn as much as you can.
Okay, so it's like instead of just having this rigid learning plan,
Right.
you're kind of allowing yourself to wander off the beaten path a little bit.
Exactly. Explore those unexpected connections, see where they lead.
And sometimes those rabbit holes lead to the most fascinating discoveries, right?
Oh, absolutely. They can take you to places you never expected.
Yeah. But of course, we need to remember to come up for air every now and then.
That's true. Can't get too lost down there.
The book actually shares this funny story about an absent-minded professor. Gets so engrossed in his research, he forgets basic things in his daily life.
Oh, no. Like what?
Like he forgets that he's supposed to be teaching a class.
Oh, that's classic. The stereotypical professor.
Exactly. So it's a good reminder that balance is key.
Right. Don't want to forget to live your life while you're learning about it.
Exactly. Which leads perfectly to the next technique, puzzles and brain games. This one sounds a bit more fun, I gotta say.
Oh, definitely. It's a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, less intimidating than, say, reading a dense textbook.
Totally. And it's not just about entertainment, These games can actually target specific cognitive areas. It's like cross-training for your brain.
So it's not just about like keeping our minds busy. It's about choosing activities that challenge us in different ways.
Exactly. You want to work those different mental muscles.
Okay, I like that. Can you give us some examples of puzzles that target different skills?
Sure, like Sudoku, for instance. Great for logic and problem solving.
Oh yeah, Sudoku, that's a classic.
Yeah, then you've got memory games. As the name suggests, those are fantastic for boosting recall.
Right, makes sense.
And then there are spatial reasoning puzzles,
Okay.
like those involving 3D shapes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, those can help enhance your visual memory and spatial awareness.
Like we can create a personalized brain training program, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You choose what you want to work on. And speaking of, the ebook tells this amazing story about how Sudoku literally saved the author's career.
Oh, I remember reading about that.
Right, like who knew Sudoku could be so powerful?
Seriously. It just goes to show those skills can really transfer to real-world situations.
It's a good reminder that, like, sharpening our minds isn't just a fun pastime. It can actually have an impact on our success.
Make you wonder what hidden talents we might all have lurking in our brain.
Right. Just waiting to be unlocked by the right puzzle.
Exactly. Okay, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about more traditional approach to intelligence reading.
Ah, yes, the good old-fashioned book.
Technique number 3 encourages us to read widely and deeply.
You know, in this age of skinning headlines and scrolling through social media, it's easy to forget the power of deep reading.
Totally. I know I'm guilty of that. But what's so special about reading? I mean, yeah, we all know it's good for us, but how does it actually boost our intelligence?
Well, for starters, it strengthens focus and concentration.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Think about it. When you're truly immersed in a book, you're blocking out all the distractions. You're training your mind to stay present, and that kind of mental discipline is valuable in any area of life, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's like building mental endurance.
Exactly.
Like the ability to stay focused even when things get challenging.
Right. And the benefits go beyond just concentration.
Okay, tell me more.
Deep reading also expands your vocabulary, exposes you to different perspectives, and it even enhances your ability to empathize with others.
Oh, wow. Empathy, too. Okay.
It's like opening a window to new worlds, you know?
I like that. It's not just absorbing information. It's broadening our understanding of the world and the people in it.
Exactly. It helps you see things from different angles.
And the ebook gives some really practical tips for making deep reading a habit. Right?
Oh, yeah. Tons of good advice in there.
Like what?
Well, one simple but effective strategy is to just schedule dedicated reading time.
Okay, so like actually put it in your calendar.
Exactly. Even if it's just 20 or 30 minutes a day.
Makes it feel more like an appointment you can't miss.
Right. You're making a commitment to yourself.
I like that.
Another tip is to carry a book with you everywhere.
Okay, so you can like sneak in some reading whenever you have a few minutes.
Exactly. Turn those wasted minutes into opportunities for growth.
Turn those wasted minutes into opportunities for growth. I love that. And speaking of growth, technique number 4 might surprise you. It's physical exercise.
Ah, yes, the mind-body connection.
Right. I know we're supposed to be talking about brain power here, but it turns out our bodies play a huge role in keeping our minds sharp.
Oh, absolutely. They're totally intertwined.
So break it down for us. How does getting physical actually make us smarter?
Okay, so when you exercise, your heart rate goes up,
Right.
pumps more blood to your brain,
Okay.
which delivers a surge of oxygen and nutrients. It's basically giving your brain cells the fuel they need to function at their best.
So it's like fueling up your brain.
Exactly. You got to keep that engine running smoothly.
And that's not all, right?
No, there's more. Exercise also stimulates the release of growth factors.
Growth factors. What are those?
These are special proteins that actually promote the formation of new brain cells.
Whoa, new brain cells. That's incredible.
Right. And they also strengthen the connections between existing brain cells.
So it's like you're not just fueling the brain, you're actually improving its structure.
You got it. It's like hitting the gym for your brain.
Love that analogy. And building those new connections is key for like learning and memory, right?
Exactly. That's where those new skills and knowledge get stored. But the benefits go beyond just memory. Exercise has also been shown to improve mood, reduce stress.
Okay, yeah, I definitely feel that after a good workout.
Right. And it enhances cognitive flexibility.
Cognitive flexibility, what's that?
It's that ability to switch between tasks and adapt to new situations.
Ah, so it's like mental agility.
Exactly. Being able to think on your feet.
Okay, so we're talking better memory, sharper focus, improved mood, and greater resilience. That's pretty convincing.
It's a pretty impressive package.
It is. And the ebook encourages finding enjoyable forms of movement, right? Like it doesn't have to be all about like intense workouts.
No, not at all. The key is to find something you enjoy, something that fits into your lifestyle.
Okay, so it could be like walking, dancing, swimming.
Exactly. Whatever gets you moving and gets your blood flowing.
Make it fun, make it sustainable.
That's the key. And the ebook actually shares a story about how running helped the author overcome writer's block.
Oh, interesting. So like it helps spark creativity.
Yeah, it cleared their head and allowed new ideas to flow.
That's so cool. It's a good reminder that our bodies and minds are interconnected. Like when we take care of one.
We nourish the other.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got continuous learning, brain games, deep reading, and physical exercise, all fantastic ways to boost our brain power. But technique number 5 takes us into a slightly different realm. It's mindfulness and meditation.
Ah, yes, training the mind.
Right. And in today's fast-paced world, it's so easy to get caught up in that constant stream of thoughts and distractions.
Because like our minds are always racing, right?
Yes, exactly. So mindfulness is all about training our attention, becoming more aware of the present moment.
Being here now.
Yes, that sounds great in theory, but how does mindfulness actually, like, translate to increased intelligence? I mean, it seems kind of like the opposite of active learning.
Right, it might seem counterintuitive, but the research is pretty clear on this one.
Okay.
Mindfulness has been shown to improve a whole range of cognitive functions, including attention, memory,
Okay.
even creativity.
So it's not good about relaxation and stress reduction.
No, it's much more than that. It actually helps you think better.
Okay, but how does that work? I mean, isn't mindfulness all about, like, emptying your mind?
Well, that's a common misconception.
Okay.
Mindfulness isn't about stopping your thoughts. It's about becoming aware of them without judgment.
Ah, I see. So you're not trying to shut them down, you're just observing them.
Exactly. And by practicing this kind of mental observation, you actually strengthen your ability to focus, to manage distractions, to regulate your emotions.
So it's like building mental muscle to control your attention.
Exactly. Instead of letting it be controlled by, whatever pops into your head.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And the ebook emphasizes that you don't need to become a meditation guru to reap the benefits, right?
No, not at all. Even a few minutes of daily practice can make a difference.
Okay, so like even if you're super busy, you could still fit in a little mindfulness.
Absolutely. The key is to find a technique that works for you.
So there are like different types of mindfulness practices.
Yeah, there are a lot of options out there. Focused breathing, body scan meditation, or simply paying attention to the sensations of everyday activities.
Oh, I like that. Mindfulness in everyday life.
Exactly. Bringing that awareness to every moment.
And the ebook actually tells a really powerful story about the author who's feeling super overwhelmed and stressed. And they found peace and clarity through just 10 minutes of silent meditation.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right? It just shows you the power of mindfulness. Even a small amount can make a huge difference.
It's a great reminder that even small moments of stillness can have a profound impact on your mental well-being, your ability to think clearly.
Yeah, and on your overall intelligence, it sounds like.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Okay, so we've got continuous learning, brain games, deep reading, physical exercise, mindfulness. And now technique number 6 focuses on another essential aspect of brain health, a brain-boosting diet.
Ah, yes, you are what you eat.
Right. And it turns out that applies to our brains as well.
Big time. Think of your brain as a high-performance engine.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It needs the right fuel to run smoothly, and just like a car can't perform at its best on low-grade fuel,
Right.
our brains suffer when we don't give them the nutrients they need.
So what are those brain-boosting nutrients we should be looking for?
Well, there are a bunch, but some key players include omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay, omega-3s, those are good for like heart health too, right?
Exactly. They're multi-talented. You can find them in fatty fish like salmon and tuna,
Okay,
also in walnuts, flax seeds.
good to know.
Then there are antioxidants.
Antioxidants, those fight free radicals, right?
Yes, they protect your brain cells from damage. You can find them in abundance in colorful fruits and vegetables.
So eating the rainbow is good for your brain.
Exactly. The more colors, the better. And don't forget about B vitamins.
Okay, B vitamins, what do those do for our brains?
They're essential for nerve function and energy production.
Okay, so they keep the brain powered up.
Exactly. You can find them in leafy greens, whole grains, and lean meats.
So it's all about eating a balanced diet that includes a variety of nutrient-rich foods.
That's the key. Give your brain what it needs to thrive.
And the ebook suggests focusing on dietary patterns rather than just individual foods, right?
Yes, that's a great point, because it's not just about one magic food or supplement.
Right.
It's about creating a healthy eating style that you can sustain over time.
So it's about the big picture.
Exactly. And there are a couple of dietary patterns that have been shown to support immune health.
Like what?
Well, the Mediterranean diet is one.
Okay, yeah, I've heard good things about the Mediterranean diet.
Right. It's all about whole foods, plant-based fats, lean protein sources.
Sounds delicious.
And then there's the MIND diet.
The MIND diet.
Yeah, it stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
I know, right? But basically, it's a hybrid of the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet, which was designed to lower blood pressure.
Okay, so it's kind of like double the brain power.
Exactly. Both diets emphasize whole foods and limit processed foods, added sugars, and unhealthy fats.
Those sound like diets I could actually stick to, which is important.
Totally. It's got to be sustainable. And the ebook tells this funny story about the author's genius breakfast.
Genius breakfast. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it used to be like sugary cereal and coffee.
Oh, the classic breakfast of champions.
Right. But then they switched to a healthier option and noticed a huge difference in their energy levels and mental clarity.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
It's a reminder that even small changes can have a big impact on how our brains function.
Yeah, food for thought, literally.
Exactly. You got to nourish those brain cells.
Okay, so we've covered the importance of learning, exercising, practicing mindfulness, eating well. But technique number 7 taps into a different side of intelligence.
Ooh, which one is that?
It's cultivating creative activity.
Ah, yes, unleashing your inner artist.
Right. And, we often think of intelligence as being all about, like, logic and analysis.
The left brain stuff.
Exactly. But creativity is an equally important aspect of a sharp mind.
Oh, absolutely. It's about that ability to think outside the box. Come up with new ideas.
To make those connections that others might miss.
Exactly. It's like seeing the world with fresh eyes.
I love that. And the ebook encourages exploring a variety of creative outlets.
Like what?
It mentions writing, painting,
Oh, nice.
playing music, dancing.
All great options.
Yeah, it's about finding that flow state.
Oh, yeah, where you lose track of time and just get lost in the creative process.
Exactly. And the ebook tells a really inspiring story about how the author, who considered themselves a bad draw,
Oh, interesting.
they discovered the joy and the therapeutic benefits of sketching.
That's awesome. Proof that anyone can be creative.
Right? It's about embracing that beginner's mind,
Totally. Not being afraid to try new things.
even if you're not, like, naturally good at them.
It's about the process, not the product.
Exactly. The process itself is where the magic happens.
It's about tapping into that wellspring of creativity that we all have inside.
Okay, so we've talked about learning, exercising, being mindful, eating well, getting creative, but technique number 8 might seem a bit counterintuitive,
Oh, how so?
especially for those of us who, like, enjoy our solo time.
The introverts out there.
Yes. It's socialization and collaboration.
Ah, yes, the power of connection.
Right. And we often think of, like, brilliant minds as working in isolation.
The lone genius stereotype.
Yeah, but the truth is, our social interactions play a huge role in shaping our intelligence.
Oh, for sure. We learn so much from each other.
So it's not just about what we do on our own, it's about who we connect with.
Exactly, and how those connections influence our thinking.
Can you explain more about how socializing actually boosts our brain power?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Every conversation you have is an opportunity to learn something new,
Ooh, I like that.
to be challenged by different perspectives,
Mhm.
to refine your own ideas.
It's like a mental workout.
It is. You're bouncing ideas off each other, sparking new insights, expanding your understanding of the world.
And studies have shown that social interaction can actually improve memory.
Yes, and enhance problem-solving skills.
Wow.
It can even protect against cognitive decline as we age.
So it's not just about having fun and connecting with others. It's about, like, keeping our minds sharp.
Exactly. It keeps those synapses firing.
And the ebook gives some specific suggestions for how to make the most of our social interactions, right?
Yeah, it does. One idea is to seek out diverse social circles.
Okay, so, like, don't just hang out with people who are just like you.
Right. Talk to people from different backgrounds with different interests and perspectives.
So get out of your comfort zone and expand your social horizons.
Exactly. That's where the real learning happens.
I love that. What other tips does it offer?
Well, another suggestion is to engage in stimulating conversations.
Okay, so, like, not just small talk.
Right. Have those deep discussions that make you think.
Oh, I love those.
Right. They challenge your assumptions
Mhm.
and leave you feeling energized and inspired.
Yeah, like you've learned something new.
Exactly. It's like a mental recharge.
And sometimes those conversations can happen in the most unexpected places, right?
Oh, absolutely. The ebook tells a great story about how the author had a chance encounter at a conference that led to a brilliant collaboration and a lifelong friendship.
That's so cool. It's a reminder to Always be open to connecting with others.
You never know where those connections might lead.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here: learning, exercising, mindfulness, diet, creativity, socializing, all fantastic ways to keep our minds sharp. But now we're going to shift gears to something that's often neglected, but absolutely essential for optimal brain function. Technique number 9, quality sleep.
Ah, yes, the foundation of good health.
Right. And, we live in a culture that often glorifies busyness and sleep deprivation.
It's like a badge of honor to be sleep deprived.
Yeah, like you're somehow more productive if you're running on fumes.
Exactly. But the truth is, our brains need adequate rest
Hmm.
to function at their best.
So it's not just about, recharging our bodies.
Right. It's also about giving our brains that downtime they need to process information, consolidate memories, and prepare for the next day.
So how much sleep is enough? I mean, we've all heard that 8 hours is the magic number. But is that really true for everyone?
Well, the ideal amount varies from person to person.
Okay.
But most adults need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours per night.
Okay, that's a pretty good range.
Right. And it's not just about the quantity, the quality matters too.
Okay, so what can we do to improve the quality of our sleep? I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm getting enough hours, but I still wake up feeling groggy, like mentally fuzzy.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Right, it's like, what's the point of sleeping if you're not going to wake up feeling refreshed?
Totally. So there are a lot of things you can do to optimize your sleep environment and habits.
Like what?
Well, one important tip is to establish a consistent sleep schedule.
Okay, so like going to bed and waking up around the same time each day.
Exactly, even on weekends.
Even on weekends, that's the hard part.
I know, right? But it's worth it. It helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
So it's like setting your internal clock.
Exactly.
Okay, what other tools does the ebook offer?
Another key factor is creating a conducive sleep environment.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, your bedroom should be cool, dark, and quiet.
Okay, cool, dark and quiet, got it. Anything else?
Yeah, this one's important. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed.
Oh, the dreaded screens. Why is that so important?
Well, because the blue light emitted from those devices can interfere with melatonin production.
Melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, right?
Exactly. It regulates your sleep-work cycle. So when you're exposed to blue light at night...
It throws off your natural rhythm.
Exactly. It makes it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Okay, so it's about creating a sanctuary for sleep.
Yes, a place where you can truly unwind.
I love that. And the ebook shares a running cautionary tale about the author's experience with pulling an all-nighter.
Oh no, we've all been there.
Right, and the disastrous effect it had on their cognitive function the next day.
It's brutal. Your brain just can't function properly when it's sleep deprived.
So it's a reminder that sacrificing sleep is never worth it.
It's like trying to run your car on empty. Eventually, you're going to break down.
Exactly. And that breakdown can have serious consequences.
Yeah, for your productivity, your health, your overall well-being.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in our quest for a sharper mind. Learning, exercising, mindfulness, diet, creativity, socializing, sleep. And now we're arriving at our final destination.
Drum roll, please.
Technique number 10, managing stress effectively.
Ah, stress, the silent killer.
Right. And, stress is a fact of life. We all experience it.
It's unavoidable, unfortunately.
But when it becomes chronic...
That's when it starts to become a problem.
Right. And it's not just about feeling overwhelmed or anxious. Chronic stress can actually damage our brain cells.
Oh, yeah. Stress takes a toll on the brain, big time.
And impair our cognitive function. That's scary. What's happening in our brains when we're under that constant stress?
Well, when you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol.
Cortisol, the stress hormone.
Exactly. And in small doses, it's actually beneficial.
Oh, really? I thought cortisol was always bad.
Well, it gets a bad rap, but it helps us focus, and respond to challenges.
Okay, so it's like the fight or flight response.
Exactly. But when cortisol levels are consistently high, it can have a toxic effect on the brain.
So it's like anything else. Too much of a good thing can be bad.
Precisely. Moderation is key.
So what are some of the ways that chronic stress affects our cognitive function?
Well, for starters, it can impair memory.
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that when I'm stressed, it's harder to remember things.
Right. It also makes it difficult to focus
Mm-hmm.
and even hinders creativity.
So stress basically puts the brakes on our brain power.
It does, and it can lead to, those feelings of irritability, anxiety, and depression.
So it's like a vicious cycle. Stress leads to cognitive impairment, which leads to more stress, and so on.
It's a downward spiral.
Sounds like breaking that cycle is crucial for, protecting our brains. But how do we do that? I mean, we can't just eliminate stress from our lives.
No, that's true. Stress is a part of life.
Right.
But we can learn to manage it more effectively.
Okay, I like that. So not avoiding stress, but managing it.
Exactly. And there are lots of simple, practical techniques that can help.
Okay, tell me about these stress-busting techniques. I'm all ears.
Well, some of the techniques we've already talked about are fantastic for stress management.
Oh, like what?
Exercise, mindfulness, quality sleep.
Okay, so those are like triple threats.
Exactly. They work on multiple levels.
I like that. What else?
There are other great strategies like deep breathing exercise.
Oh yeah, deep breathing. That's a classic.
It really works. And then there's spending time in nature.
Nature is so calming.
Right. It has a restorative effect on the mind.
Connecting with loved ones.
Those social connections are so important.
And engaging in hobbies that you enjoy.
Yes. Things that bring you joy and help you relax.
So it's about finding what works for you, those activities that help you de-stress and recharge.
Exactly. It's about self-care and prioritizing your mental well-being.
And the ebook shares a story about how the author, who was on the verge of burnout, discovered the power of deep breathing.
It's amazing how something so simple can be so effective, right?
Yeah, it really is. Just taking a few moments to breathe deeply can calm your mind and help you regain control.
It's like hitting the reset button on your stress response.
And those moments of self-care are essential, not just for managing stress, but for supporting our overall cognitive health.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. 10 techniques, that's a lot.
It is, yeah. A lot to think about.
I'm feeling like really inspired, though, to try some of this stuff.
Me too. I've got some new ideas brewing.
I especially love that question about, like, committing to trying one technique this week.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Makes you accountable, you know.
Right, it's action-oriented. Because it's not enough to just, like, know about this stuff. We got to actually do it.
Exactly. It's like having all the ingredients for a delicious meal, but never actually cooking it.
Aha! Yeah, exactly. We got to get in the kitchen and start experimenting.
That's where the fun begins.
That's what I love about this ebook. It gives us the what, but it also gives us the how.
Absolutely. The author provides specific strategies, tips, personal anecdotes.
It's like having a friend who's already walked this path.
Yeah, a mentor guiding you along the way.
And they're sharing their wisdom, their experience.
It makes it feel more real, more relatable.
Exactly. Like, this isn't just theory, it's like real life stuff.
Exactly. Tried and tested methods.
And that's what makes this whole deep dive so exciting to me. It's not just about, like, acquiring knowledge. It's about, like, embarking on this journey.
A journey of self-improvement.
Yes. And it's unique to each person,
Right. There's no one-size-fits-all approach here.
It's about finding what works for you.
Experimenting, adapting the techniques to your own needs and goals.
And that's a really empowering message, don't you think?
Totally. It puts you in the driver's seat.
We're not stuck with, like, the brains we were born with. We can actually change them.
We can mold them, refine them.
We could upgrade our mental hardware, as you said earlier.
Exactly. And it's never too late to start.
It's never too late to learn and grow. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Ooh, I like this part.
You know that analogy, the brain is a Ferrari stuck in first gear?
Yeah, great metaphor.
It's like this perfect image of untapped potential.
It really is.
And I think these 10 techniques are the keys to, like, shifting gears.
They're the roadmap to unlocking that potential.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is this journey isn't just about, like, becoming smarter.
Right.
It's about living a richer, more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
Beautifully said. To our listener, we encourage you to embrace this journey, experiment with these techniques, and never stop learning and growing.
Because the power to shape your intelligence, it lies within you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds sharp.